Hello everybody and welcome back to the airing of Grievances. I'm Eric Reamer, this is Robert Grieve, and we are very happy that you are here. If this is your first time, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, we appreciate that. If you're an old timer, or as we like to call you, family, we appreciate you for being here as well. If you haven't yet clicked the subscribe button and the notify bell, we encourage you to go ahead and do that as well. That lets you know every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. in the Mountain Standard Time, we'll be producing another video for your consumption. And Robert, happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you.
To you, absolutely. All right, well, you have been buried in all kinds of news releases coming out recently.
Yeah.
And you brought...
Well, I like to keep my finger on the pulse.
You absolutely do keep your finger on the pulse. And you put your finger on a couple of different articles that you're going to raise here. And I'll be honest with you, both of them surprised me.
You know what? I think they'll surprise a lot of people. And I think it's worth just chit-chatting about. It's different than what we normally talk about. But the future is here.
Yes.
And it's going to become more robust.
Are we getting a robot? Are we getting one of those robots, the humanoid?
Only to replace me if possible.
No. There's no doing that.
So.
All right, so what do we got going on here? You've got an article.
Well, let's do...
Yeah.
In a recent repair-driven news article, which I always tell you should... It's not just for the industry, it's for any kind of a car enthusiast.
Absolutely.
Vehicle enthusiast. It gives you all the latest and greatest. This article by Laura Lowry. Sony to launch new branch focused on EVs, electric vehicles. So
hold on, wait. We got to back up, park the car right there. Sony. We're talking PlayStation 5 Sony.
Sony. I'm not sure if it comes with a PlayStation, though. You may have to buy that. That item might be sold separately.
Rumor has it that it will be connected to the big PlayStation in the sky.
Maybe.
Just saying. All right, so Sony is going to launch a new branch, a new division focused on EVs.
Yeah, and they premiered their 2022 at the Consumer Electronics Show. Now, see, usually you want to see the new vehicles, you go to the auto show.
Right.
Apparently now the tides are shifting a little bit, and now you got to go to the Consumer Electronics Show to maybe find your new car.
Wonders never cease.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's got you were reading the article as well. There's lots of interesting stuff here.
It really is.
But when I look at these things, I look at them through a repairer's set of lenses.
That makes reasonable sense.
Because I want to know what they're all about. What is it that I might be contending with and responsible for?
Yes.
And these cars are just getting so out of the control, complex. Safety system sees the environment in real time with high sensitivity, high resolution, and wide dynamic range image and LiDAR sensors installed around the whole vehicle, according to the release. Only a handful of vehicles right now using LiDAR technology, but it's going to become the standard probably.
I see.
Every type of sensor has its pluses and minuses. There's, radars and, all sorts of different types of sensors. LiDAR uses light, and if you have an iPhone, probably, as well as a Google phone, whatever they call those, because I only have an iPhone, there's a LiDAR right there on it's using technology. And what it's doing is when you want to take a picture, it's sending out light signals, and when they come back, it can tell the distance, or in a photo, depth of field, or all those sorts of different things. So LiDAR is getting used today, not in a lot of automobiles, but they're coming down the road real fast.
Okay, and that's to complement the ADAS systems.
Yep. Advanced driver assist systems.
Right.
not used to. We still have them. There's a distance sensor for your cruise control that will keep you off the person's bumper in front of you, or
Right.
calibrate your speed to match what's in front of you.
I see.
This is a more robust version of that, and all these things need to be calibrated. If they're disconnected, or you remove a bumper or do anything like that, once they're disconnected, you put them back on, or you change them, you swap them over. All this stuff needs to be calibrated, and sometimes you're not talking about just that sensor. You have to calibrate all the sensors
And how they interact together.
and how they work together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there.
Absolutely.
Another interesting thing here is they have what they call time of flight sensors that are used to provide monitoring functions for driver authentication and to watch over passengers with intuitive gesture and voice commands. So, I don't know, maybe when I do this, have a great day, the window wipers will come on.
You had me at time of flight. I'm thinking if this thing catches air,
Yeah.
we could be in trouble. But
Yeah.
that's not what that's all about at
So
all.
it's not about, it's for this vehicle, it's not only about what's happening around the vehicle, but what's happening in the vehicle,
Inside the cabin.
inside the cabin.
With the passengers.
Yes. Yep.
Very interesting.
So, EVs, electric vehicles, they're coming.
Yeah.
There's Tesla's here, and it's been
Yeah,
here.
yeah, they're already here, but there more
but
coming.
more are coming.
Yes.
And even though the American public is not embracing it fully,
What?
because this other article, also by Laura in the RDN, says study of 1,000 Americans finds that 7 in 10 prefer ICE vehicles.
Ice vehicles. Cold?
Yeah. So what's an ICE vehicle? You know what? This is, I don't know, they've probably been using this term longer than I've been paying attention.
It's
but
TLAs is what we're talking about. That's 3-letter acronyms. When I had to learn what TLA stood for
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I learned what ICE stands for.
So internal combustion engine is
Oh.
what ICE stands for. So a regular everyday car
Our cars.
with an engine.
I gotcha. Instead of a motor.
Yeah. Consumer interest in BEVs, which is a battery electric vehicle,
Oh.
is highest in South Korea, China, and Germany, while Japanese consumers prefer HEVs, which is hybrid electric vehicles, and ICE still dominates the future intentions for the U.S.
Internal combustion engines.
Yeah, so
Got it.
But a lot of people are testing the waters. In this country, we like to test some things out before we jump right into it.
Sure.
Put our foot in the pool, see how warm it is. and the way to do that is to buy an HEV.
Yes.
Get a hybrid.
Yeah.
Get a hybrid that's got your combustion engine that we all want to rely on, but also has the technology of the electric to give you a little extra gas mileage.
If you want to know how warm the water is, it's heating up.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, that's very interesting that still 70% of Americans prefer our internal combustion engines. We were, our automotive story started with the muscle car, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the power.
It's going back to muscle cars. We have a BEV, battery electric vehicle, on the premises right now that has over 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower, no gas.
And you point it up, and it goes to the moon.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I think this is fascinating.
So we're kind of getting back to the muscle car with the muscle,
Yeah.
but without the internal combustion engine.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and I believe the Sony one, see, here's an interesting thing. The hybrid vehicles and the electric vehicles
Yeah.
make no noise when you drive them.
Don't they have to have noise?
Now they have to make a noise. The
Yeah.
government said we can't have that because nobody can hear you coming or going,
Right.
and people get hurt.
Right.
So now they have to make a noise. Well, it's my understanding, and it may be across the board on many of them, but the Sony vehicle, you can actually maybe have a muscle car noise when you hit the gas or something. You can adjust the noise that the car makes.
I'll bet you the speakers are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like going to the movies.
In fact, in that article, they talk about the fact that the sound will be immersive, and they'll have some very large video screens as well. Wow.
So there's a lot of things to consider, and from again, looking through my lenses, I'm looking at these cars, even the cars we have in the building today, have such sophisticated systems that the repairer needs to be aware they're even there, which in many cases is not the case. B, they need to be aware of precautions, especially if it's a battery.
Right. We talked about having the emergency hood on top of the cars so that
so everybody knows you have a hybrid vehicle
right
in the shop, and what needs to be done in the case of a repair. So just take a simple scratch on a door. Somebody keyed your door, or a shopping cart hit it and needs to be repaired. Well, the whole door needs to come apart to paint it,
right?
Because that's the proper way to do it.
Sure.
Although I have seen evidence recently of cars repaired elsewhere where they actually masked around the mirror so that they didn't have to take the mirror off. Very, very bad. Bad.
Yeah, that'll never happen here.
But if you take the mirror off and you have a 360 camera, which we love our 360 view in the car, but all these little features add great complexity to repairing the vehicles, because you take the mirror off the door to paint the door, you put the mirror back on, you plug it back in, that may not be good enough.
Right.
It may require a calibration of all of the 360 cameras so that all the images get stitched together properly.
Makes sense.
And that could be also part of your blind spot monitor system, so that would have to be paired with the blind spot These cars, we love all these little gadgets, and some of them are required by NHTSA and other government agencies.
Right.
And a vast majority of the repairers do not even know they have this stuff on the vehicle, or if they do, what to do with it, what precautions do they need to take, and when you get your car back, you want it operating as designed.
Of course.
And in many cases that requires a whole lot more understanding of calibrations and what needs to be done, what is plug and play, and having a keen awareness of the vehicle that you're repairing.
And have a keen awareness of the people who are repairing your vehicle. For you, the consumer, it's very important that you know who is doing the repairs, so that you know whether or not they follow manufacturers' procedures, whether or not they use original equipment manufacturers' parts. On the vehicle, and whether or not they go through that whole calibration process. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's here. More are coming into the field, and the more and
the complexity of the vehicles that we're driving today is absolutely incredible. You know, from my standpoint of figuring out what needs to be done and what needs to be very carefully looked at while we're repairing the vehicle. And we love all these gadgets. All these gadgets are wicked cool. You know, I just got, I'm driving a Jeep right now. Just 2013 Jeep Rubicon.
Okay.
Had a new radio put in it, and I've got Apple CarPlay in there now, and that's the coolest thing in the whole world. I'm pushing buttons.
Welcome to the 21st century, my friend.
It still has a CD player, though.
All right, okay. If you said cassette, the deal was off. All right, well, Robert,
anyway,
thank you so much for bringing this to our attention.
Just wanted to do a little something different today. And
if you've got an HEV or a BEV and you're watching this video, drop us a note in the comments below. Let us know what you're driving. Do you enjoy it? And just for kicks and giggles, let us know how long you've been using Apple CarPlay. That would be great. Brother,
happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you. Have an amazing week.